All right, welcome back to Stopping the Who. Special guest James Roguski is back with us. James, what's going on today?
Well, we're going to take a little detour and stop the UN. So, just so that people are clear, what we're going to be talking about today really doesn't involve the WHO. It's really more the United Nations. The United Nations is going to be having their 79th, I believe it is, General Assembly, September 10th to the 30th. And in preparation for that, they have for well over a year, almost a couple of years now, been negotiating a number of documents around their summit for the future, which is going to be meeting on the 22nd and the 23rd. So about 3 weeks from now, uh, wedged into the middle of their General Assembly meeting in New York City on the 22nd and the 23rd. Off the top of my head, I think that's a Sunday and a Monday. Um, they're going to be, planning and charting their future. And so they've been negotiating three separate documents. One of them is the Pact for the Future. Another one is a digital compact about, global digital IDs and artificial intelligence and all that sort of thing.
Mhm.
And there's a tiny little 5-page document about future generations. And to get it so that people understand with clarity what the heck is going on with these negotiations, if you imagine that you were a negotiator amongst 193 member nations, and you're negotiating these documents, and you all get to a point where you think you have an agreement. Um, that happened a little more than a week ago with the 5-page document for their plan for future generations. And so they have a process called the silence procedure. When a document has gotten to the point where the negotiators think that they've reached an agreement, they give a 72-hour period. It could be longer. The time may vary depending upon the length of the document or such. And they say, okay, great, we've all agreed to this. Take it back to your government officials, go home and give it to your powers that be in your country. And you've got 72 hours. Speak now or forever hold your peace. It's a last chance to make changes. And if the silence holds, if nobody speaks up, if nobody stands up in the middle of the wedding ceremony and says, "Hey, I object,"
Right.
don't get married or whatever.
Yeah.
Um, well, with the little 5-page document about future generations, the silence was broken. They did not tell anybody which nation spoke up. Could have been a nation, could have been many. I haven't been able to find that they've revealed that information, but there were a lot of different, a lot of changes, a lot of complaints about what was in the document. I certainly had my own, and anybody who reads it would probably have their own questions about it.
Mhm.
So they're back at the drawing board or negotiating table to try to, they got 3 weeks to clean that up, to get it to where whoever objected has had their objections um, dealt with in a way that everybody else can still agree with. Well, the other day, the main document, the Pact for the Future, was presented to the nations, and the silence procedure began. And interestingly enough, it's over the United States Labor Day holiday weekend. Everybody's going to be paying attention to everything else under the sun.
Right.
Uh, and the deadline is 1 p.m. on Tuesday, Eastern, New York City time, where the United Nations is based. Um, Speak now or forever hold your peace. The main
Right.
document, the Pact for the Future, um, you know, dozens upon dozens upon dozens of things that all of these nations have agreed in, on your behalf. Did anybody ask you for your opinion? Did you have any feedback? Was there public
Nope.
comment?
Nope.
So now would be a really good time to pay attention and read through what the document is all about and speak your mind. And so I did a simple little word search of the document, and the word develop or developing, like developing nations or sustainable development is in the document 252 times. So
Shocker. Yeah.
this is mostly about money, okay? Development,
Mhm.
right? Sustainable was in there 130 times.
Yeah.
The word finance or financial is in there 92 times. Climate change is in there 37 times. But the big one is the fifth section. So if people start reading the document, they got to get to the end to get to the global government section or global governance. And they want to transform global governance. That ought to get your attention.
Sure.
Go read the document. They also want to govern outer space. So
Oh,
it's not just, it's not just, the Earth now it's outer space as well. And so
great.
one of the main things that's in there that I'm sure almost everyone probably is completely unaware of, and man, this is an interesting debate. Many nations around the world want to reform the Security Council of the United Nations because they're kind of pretty sick and tired of the United States, using its veto to stop what everyone else in the world wants to do. And so the sections on reforming the Security Council, in my opinion, got really wishy-washy, okay, in the
Yeah.
sense that, they probably wanted to like, hey, we're going to change the WH, I mean the Security Council, and you know add in new members, new permanent members, control the use of the veto. It's a hairy mess.
Yeah.
And so there's, like 80 different issues in the document. People should have opinions. There ought to be plenty of comments and all that sort of thing, people say. But unfortunately, most people have not been paying attention. There's been a few other things distracting people around the world. The deadline for each nation to speak up in opposition to any aspect of the Pact for the Future is 1 p.m. on Tuesday, September 3rd, Tuesday after Labor Day here in the United States. And the Global Digital Compact, rumors are that, it's done and it's supposedly in a silence procedure, but they haven't published any document as of recording this interview right now. So stay tuned for that. Artificial intelligence and global IDs and, your digital freedom is at stake. Last time I checked, that was a 15-page document. With all of these, they use a lot of wonderful language. It sounds really good, and it'll
Mm.
suck you in until you put yourself in a position of, okay, if you were an oligarch or a corporation or, somebody in charge of something, how could you twist the language and use it to your, benefit to the detriment of other people? I'm sure there's a lot of good people, trying to make these documents be of benefit to mankind. And then there's a lot of people, behind the scenes who want to do exactly the opposite. So
Yeah.
your silence is consent. If people don't object to any of this, if you don't put your input into it, if you don't jump up and down and yell and scream at your UN representative, then bad on you. So
Yeah.
now's a really good time to listen up, learn and speak up.
Yeah. Well, it's Labor Day weekend, so something to do this Labor Day weekend before Tuesday. It's like you said, the timing is very interesting, and this video will come out Friday. So everybody watching, how do you get a hold of your UN rep? How easy is that?
In the article that I posted on my Substack, Global Governance, there's a PDF, that lists that for our United States rep. Probably the best way is Twitter,
Okay.
reasonably. There's a email contact and all that sort of stuff. But you do what people do best. Shout and scream on social media and raise a ruckus and put in whatever. There's like 80 different topics in there. So,
Mhm.
glance through it and pick one and voice an opinion. Maybe you've got 80 different opinions. Put them all out there, let people know that this is something. And, maybe you're in support of it. Maybe you think it's a great idea. The United Nations should be the governor, general of the universe.
No,
Maybe they're the new, federated planet, whatever. Um,
no.
the point is, ignorance
Mhm.
is not an excuse.
Right. And like you said, if we're all silent, they're going to do what they want to do. We'll link your article in the description of this video. Anything
Okay.
else you want to give us, James, before
No,
we
if any,
check out?
as always, if anybody has any questions, they want to give me a call, 310-619-3055. Love to talk to you about this. It's just the future of the planet. Nothing much.
No big deal. No
No
big
big
deal.
deal.
We're covering these kind of minor topics here on the channel. So
Peace,
thanks again.
peace and war and climate change and,
Yeah.
control of the planet. Might want to pay a little attention.
Yeah, yeah, you might want to tug on Elon Musk's shirt a little bit and say, hey, you might want to repost this. So James, as always, thank you very much for the info, and everyone else, thanks for watching.